the Ethics Bowl? I saw that on your thing. What is that? How did that start?
Yeah, so Ethics Bowl overall, it's actually a relatively new competition style event, and I did in high school. And essentially, you have one team, and it will be maybe 3 to 5 people against another team, and you come into a space and you have this ethical dilemma that's posed to both teams. It might be, one example was during Hurricane Katrina, a lot of power went out. Especially at hospitals, and a lot of hospitals had to make a decision of, with this limited energy we have from maybe backup generators or something like that, how do we allocate care, and how do we allocate scarce resources that might otherwise not be scarce. And so that's one example of the type of moral dilemma that you might think through, and one team will just present their approach to it and their solution, maybe to a few questions that are brought up, and then another team will respond. And then they'll have a panel of judges who also kind of questions that original team. And then it switches for a different moral dilemma, and then you're kind of evaluated. But what I think really characterizes Ethics Bowl in a unique way is the fact that it's a conversation. It's not, a super. You are competitive, but you have to be polite. You're actually, evaluated on how well you engage versus being more confrontational. And I think it's really opened me up to really question some of my core beliefs and be able to approach maybe some really sensitive topics with a feeling of, I don't know what is right, but I'm willing to try to figure out with you, even the team that you're competing against. Yeah. So I did that in high school. We had a lot of success there. We went to nationals actually, which was a really exciting time for us. And then I came to college and there was no team. And I felt like the first couple of years of college, I was just trying to find, my
And this
place.
Is at Harvard?
Yeah. So
I would think a place like that would have I'm sure they have a debate team, right?
Yeah,
okay,
for sure. That's what my mom said. She was like, I can't believe they don't have it. Like, me either. But
well, a great opportunity for you, because now you're the founder of this team, right?
Yeah, it's crazy. But I did check out the debate team. Or at least talk to people who are on the debate team to learn a little bit more about it. I tried a couple like societies that had kind of that conversational aspect to it. And I just realized that, Ethics Bowl is it's just such a special space to really not take things personally, but also be extremely personally invested. And I think that's a really tough balance to strike with sensitive topics, and to have the opportunity as like the founder to try to set a specific tone within our team of, look, it's not all about the competition. It's not all about winning. Like, this is actually just about our personal growth, and like trying to bring
say that. Yes. Okay.
Yeah. And like trying to bring this skill set to our communities, and having these conversations both in our club, but also, in the dining hall with somebody who's not even part of the club, or,
or
with our professors, or on a podcast. Exactly. And I really think that there are some spaces where it's like extremely focused on a topic or skill set that might not translate to an everyday conversation like this. And I just think, contrastingly, that's the essence of Ethics Bowl. It's like the stuff that matters on a daily basis. So
I think this is the way everyone should approach life. Like, I get the debate thing, because the debate thing is sort of like, it's more of a let's win, let's crush the other team. But this is all about a free flow of idea of information for our personal growth, or for societal like growth. I hate that we're in this cancel culture type of thing right now. It's like, because we bring up a topic, me and you are talking about whatever, and someone hears it, whatever it is, whatever they're triggered or they're feeling about whatever we're talking about. Just because someone is talking about a topic that's a hot topic doesn't mean, let's say we're talking about race or sexism or whatever, doesn't mean that we feel a certain way or we belong to a certain group. The freedom to just talk about things, explore ideas, is being taken away from us. And I think this is a great idea now. Let's have these ethic bowls. Let's throw out tough things, like gender and all the stuff that's going on today. But people are afraid to even have these conversations. How did you guys even get away with this?
Yeah, I mean, I think luckily, you know, we weren't the people who started ethics bowl generally, so there was definitely a community we were able to tap into, like in other colleges, especially in the Boston area. We, you know, looped in with Northeastern at one point, and reached out to Tufts because they have a pretty good ethics bowl team, and just tried to learn more about how to approach and start something like this. But you know, the conversations themselves that you have, you know, even at a place like Harvard, somebody might think, oh my gosh, you guys are so like hyper intellectual, and I'm sure
Right.
like just had a really like, you know, philosophical discussion about
Nerds.
this. And I was like, you know, that's not how it is. Like, I take things personally, other people take things personally, and at the end of the day, like, even though we're getting this top-notch education, like, people still have their biases, and people still have
And probably
whatever
super
they were.
competitive, I would think.
Yeah, and that can translate to like a defensiveness that
Yeah.
you almost have to say like, no, that's not what we're doing here. Like, I get it, I you know, I feel for you and I have empathy for you, but at the same time, like, that's not what we want to go for right now. And I think just trying to approach it from that point of view is sometimes really difficult, but I think also worth it. And what you're saying with people not being able to, you know, kind of broach some topics, or maybe people feeling triggered, I think that's super valid for people to, like, you know, have emotional responses to things, especially if they like went through personal experiences that kind of hit home for them. But at the same time, I think, you know, if you kind of cultivate an intentional space that people choose to enter into, to discuss these things, it's a resource for us to just collectively figure out this mess of life, and like figure out what is happening, and maybe just change your mind. And I think having, like, kind of putting your ego aside and really just being
It's
open
hard to
to having
do.
your, yeah, like being open to change your mind, but like you're saying, also being open to express yourself and say like, look, I don't know if this is right, and I apologize if I insult or offend somebody, but like, I'm willing to learn and willing to like hear what you have to say, but this is what I believe. And I think we, like, 80% of the time on a daily basis, we don't even feel comfortable to do that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I think